I'll say that wealth is beyond material riches. You can have a wealth of wisdom. You can have a wealth of love. You can be wealthy in spirituality. Of course, you can be wealthy in material as well.
Material.
You can be well. We are electrical beings,
Mm-hmm.
and money values our energy. It values what we produce, but it also values our energy, and that energy comes in by the means of service. If you're closed, if you're not abundant thinking, if you're scarcity mindset, if you're thinking in oh they're never going to or da, 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 that opportunity won't even be there for you. And I believe that you can have be authentic and abundant at the same time. But so when you are confident, when you are, because we are all stars. So as stars, when we are shining, we attract positivity,
Mm.
but we also attract challenges.
Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome again to Flowcast. In here, we're going to have amazing conversations with the beautiful people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspirations for the life journeys, passions, creations, because we believe that when you share your unique story, you can inspire others. So please enjoy this new Flowcast. And also, I would love to invite you to join our community. And if you would like to share your unique story, please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com, for more information. Thank you. So please welcome Nathaniel. Hi, Nat.
Hi, Camilo.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being part of the community and for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and it was really nice how we connected,
Yes.
which it was, well, through life.
Yes.
But yeah, I would like to know, well, for you to share a little bit more about you. I mean, today we're going to talk about wealth.
Yes.
But then a little introduction of you. I know you're a poet.
Yes.
It's very nice. Yeah, share a little bit about you, and then we go into the topic.
Okay. Exciting. So, yeah. First and foremost, I love the concept flow. So I'm very happy that we're having this conversation um, because I feel like life is about flow, and I go by Nat Nye, the lyrical alchemist, and basically lyrical alchemy or the lyrical alchemist is a name that I take on very strongly. So it sums up who I am as an artist and who I am as a being. And the concept behind lyrical alchemy is that with alchemy, you take one element and you transform it into another. And I believe in the word power and sound. And poetry is that, especially when it's spoken word. It is a you're tapping into the energy of creativity, and with a focused mind and placing energy behind the words and behind the poetry, my intention is for that poetry to become reality, essentially. So one element into another, poetry into reality, lyrical alchemy. As well as that, I do represent the artist that plays a functional role in society. So we exist to uplift, to enlighten, to heal. We play a very functional role to bring joy, to also um, carve open empathy within beings, is what we do with our works. Entertainment is secondary. So I'm very, very comfortable in performing in front of a mass of people who afterwards may not even clap. But if they feel it, that's the most important thing for me. I take that over and above. Oh my gosh, that was amazing, but didn't go away with no message. So I see myself, and there's not just me. There's a whole lot of artists, and we go back right into the ancient times of playing a functional role in society. I feel like in today's world, um, artists are really kind of forced into this sort of commercialization and entertainment, and it's a disservice. So I really do stand on that as the lyrical alchemist, as Nat Nye, the lyrical alchemist, and by hearing what I just said, you can tell I'm passionate about the world. As an African, born and bred in England, I'm very passionate about Africa. I'm very passionate about Africans, and I'm very passionate about the world as a whole. Everybody, animals. I'm a vegan for that reason, because I don't like the process as to which animals are made into food. So I'm a vegan, and I just feel like this world is filled with abundance, and are we've been blessed to be given guardianship over the world, essentially, in that the other species don't really have control over the direction of what happens in the world, but we do, and that's a blessing. But with that great blessing comes with great responsibility, and I feel with this so much abundance, there's so much more we can do with it than what we're currently doing right now. So essentially, that is my purpose. I am determined to leave this world better than when I came in, and I want to connect, and that's why I feel great to connect with you, because I want to connect. My main aim is to connect with any and everybody who has that same passion and that same purpose to do so. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in this grander way that how I think. It could be small things, but if your small things is making someone else's day better, then that is we're on the same path. We're in the same mission, but we do have a lot of work to do. So that does, in essence, sum me up. I think, but I could go on and on, but yeah, we've got
That's super nice. And I think, I mean, because you said that you wanted to talk on a specific topic, but we can go on and on and on about what you said, and I love it because I'm very connected of what you're saying. I've been in a journey as well of life, and the purpose of life is living life as best it gets, and every day is wonderful. So yeah, thank you for sharing.
Every day is wonderful,
and I think we need to do another flowcast about because we were doing a conversation earlier related to what you're saying. So yeah, we could do that as well.
Yes, that would be good. No spoilers.
Yes. But anyway, so yeah, I mean the topic of today is about wealth, which is very interesting as well. When we first met, we talked about, a little bit about that, and then we both very resonate about this topic. So we'd like to know what wealth means for you.
Wealth is a very expansive word, and it has a lot of depth to it. As a poet right now, I just want to go and look at the dictionary definition. What is wealth? Because it might not just be a simplistic. From my perspective, I'll say that wealth is beyond material riches. You can have a wealth of wisdom. You can have a wealth of love. You can be wealthy in spirituality. Of course, you can be wealthy in material as well. You can be wealthy in many different ways. There are people in this world who haven't got much money, but they are surrounded by nature. So they're wealthy in nature, and that nature might provide them with all they need to sustain themselves. But they might not have the money in that. So wealth comes in different forms, essentially. My ambition personally is to be holistically wealthy. How could I forget? You can be wealthy in knowledge. You can have a whole wealth of knowledge. In fact, that is the most important type of wealth, actually, because all else falls into place when you're wealthy in knowledge. As long as it's applied, that's where we have wealth and wisdom. So if you have wealth and wisdom, then everything else just falls into place. That's the most important one. But for me, where I'm at in my life, I am focusing on the money aspect of it. So I can reason, I can talk on a whole variety of different topics and such, but one of my personal challenges in life has been my relationship with money, and coming from the background that I come from as well, is it's one that plagues a lot of people, like where I grew up and such and such. And the focus for me now is to improve. I've seen my relationship with it. I'm here now to improve my relationship with money. and over the years I've been forced to respect money. I've been forced to respect it. Before I was more socialist leaning, if you like, um, very much in the activist world. I don't know if you remember um, Occupy, the Occupy movement. Did you remember
No.
that? That was in 2011, around 2010, 2011, that period of time. So the Occupy movement was a movement that spread across the world, and it was the Occupy Wall Street. So in New York, you had a whole group of protesters that occupied Wall Street. It happened in Italy, it happened in France, it happened in various different places around the world, and it happened here as well. Here was in America, and different points in America and New York. It was like, oh, there's 100,000 people. In Italy, it was the same thing. In France, the same thing. Over here, I think there was like 6,000 at max.
Well, that's a lot still.
I was disappointed. I was expecting the whole world to come out. So, and I was on this. So I was like, oh, okay. Do people get it in terms of the way money is controlled by the banks and all that kind of stuff? So, um, I was very excited about it, but it didn't come to anything. And enough of those experiences forced me to respect money. And through that respecting of money, I've been looking into, I had been looking into, and I'm still continuing because it's an ongoing journey, into Bitcoin and these new forms of money that is coming in, and how money is shifting away from paper to digital, and that journey of it as well. And then I've been looking, well, my partner. Normally we're together, actually. We normally do all kinds of things together. You got to meet her. But
Maybe she can share some.
yeah, you have a great conversation with her.
Nice.
She has been making cowrie shells out of clay, and that's been quite a spiritual synchronized journey where something just pop up and, oh, this is a cowrie over here, or it was just very interesting, and we looked into it and saw cowrie is widely used in Africa as money before, but also in Asia, in South Asia and East Asia, and the Chinese character for money is a cowrie. So we've been looking into the history of money as well, and I have, as a result of the past few years and this being like, all right, money is important. I've been developing a mindset that is like, okay, in order for you to make things happen in this world, money is needed, and money isn't just a means of exchange. There's so much to it. As we were talking earlier and the previous conversation as well, we are electrical beings, and money values our energy. It values what we produce, but it also values our energy, and that energy comes in by the means of service. So whatever we serve, whatever we're doing, how that is valued, how we get reciprocation, or how we get rewarded for the work that we do is money. And when you're not doing that, you can call it when you're not getting money for it, you can call it voluntary, you can call it charitable work, which is fine. But in the world that we exist in, we need to value ourselves. And by valuing ourselves and showing love to ourselves, then you put a value on what you do, the service that you do provide. Or you're working for somebody else and you provide a value for them, and they dictate to you normally what your worth is in terms of that, and then you agree to it. But I've understood that, or I'm understanding and learning more and more and more that money, there's so much to it. There's so much to it. Even the money that we're predominantly using today is exists from the mind. And I mean that in literal terms, because previously it was backed up by gold, it was backed up by something, silver. But today it's not backed up by anything. So it's our minds that make it real. And I find that even more fascinating. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but I find it very, very fascinating how we can make something real. And we can put a value upon it, and it exists as a result of that. otherwise it's literally just paper before,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just numbers on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's we that give it its purpose
Mm.
essentially. And yeah, like emphasizing that it is important. It is an important way and means of how you value what you do in this world, essentially.
Mm-hmm. I love the concept that you're saying about it, and I think this is very related of the energy of money
Mm.
because you said like now it's just paper, and of course before was something material. But I guess anyway, we it's the past now. Now we need to talk about what it is now, and the concept of if the money is energy. What do you think about it, and how you're treating that? Because I completely with you about it. It's the relationship that we have with money. We can attract more, or we
Mm-hmm.
can just lose lots. Just depend of how we see it. So how do you see that? Well, that relationship and the connection and the concept of money being energy.
A really good question. Um, and this goes to our conversation earlier as well, because okay, so if we accept that we are electrical beings,
Mm-hmm.
and we are, which essentially means we're more than just the physical. And when you use the word attract, um, it also makes me think about the fact that we are made up of stardust. Literally, there's science behind it. We're all literally made up of the same elements that make up a star, makes us up.
Mm-hmm.
And the stars, our sun is a star. Our sun attracts planets, and those planets go around the sun. Wherever the sun goes, the planets follow. That's essentially what the sun does. The sun attracts, its gravitational pull draws, yeah, the planets, asteroids, meteorites, all kinds of different objects, from interplanetary objects or intergalactic objects, is attracted by this star. And we are the same, just a microcosm of it, a very, very small microcosm. And we can attract if our minds are right. And what you were saying about just with the negative and then just get into the positive quickly. And if we have that attitude towards money, because it's, I think where uh, we can get mistaken is some people, they're like, I'm a good person, but why is money not coming to me? And what I've realized is not about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the mind. It's all about
I'm feel it.
and ah. So that's the even deeper now. So yeah. So you can even know it, and you can say, oh, you can um you can believe it. I'll use that word believe because there's an element of doubt with belief. If you know something,
Mm.
then it's a different energy.
Correct. I think. Well, if I may
Yes, yes,
uh, add. Oh well, I don't know. I think knowing is just the knowledge,
yes.
and when you put believing is feeling like wisdom. I don't know what is that what you were saying or.
I was saying the opposite actually,
Oh, I see.
but I
Okay.
understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe believing is not the right word, because belief can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that you can know something theoretically,
Yes.
um, but there's a difference. So if you read something in a book and then somebody asks you a question that you read in a book, academically you can know it,
Mm-hmm.
you can respond to them and such. It's very different from um, if somebody says, "Can you ride a bike?" and you can say, "Yes, I can ride a bike," or "Do you know how to ride a bike?" "I know how to ride a bike." That's, you know exactly. But something you read in a book, and somebody asks you, "Can you do that?" You may not be so sure that you can actually do what you've read in a book,
Mm.
and that's the difference. And but what you're saying in terms of the feeling now, that is what certifies it all, because
Mm-hmm.
it's the feeling is the experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or you know the experience, you know the feeling of the experience, and then you're living it.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about if you're thinking in abundance, and that equates to money essentially, then money's going to come to you. and it comes to you. Sometimes it comes in a like a magical way, but sometimes without even realizing it, your behavior has changed. So you're open to the opportunities that are there all the time, in any case. But before, because you weren't open to it, you didn't see it. So, for example, if there's a somebody you know, a potential investor, you're aware of this potential investor, they come in through the door, and you see them, and if you're closed, if you're not abundant thinking, if you're scarcity mindset, if you're thinking in oh they're never going to, or da, 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 that opportunity won't even be there for you. You're just going to think the mental will shut down. It'll be like, oh, it's not the time. All the excuses possible.
Mm.
But if you're open, if you're thinking abundantly, you're striking a conversation, and then magic happens. That's an opportunity that has opened. But there's so many opportunities. It's just literally so literally by the mindset of it, the feeling and the experience of the feeling, then actually has an influence on your behavior and how you are grasping different opportunities that you may not even go for because you're just
Yeah.
close to it. So there is a thing of like creating your own opportunities. There is a thing of like um, something does just miraculously happen, but oftentimes, or I think every time actually, you are actually making miracles happen yourself just by being open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, like it's great what you're saying, and I'm completely agree. Um, and I mean to feel it, but I mean I just wanna add a little bit of maybe an example,
Yes.
like my own example as well. So before, when I was going to buy something in the supermarket, um, I was looking a lot about the prices. Like this is a very materialistic and money sample, and then I wasn't looking after myself in terms of what type of food I was getting. I was checking at the prices and getting the cheapest possible, and that it's kind of no abundance because
Mm.
I'm sacrificing my health
Mm.
to just not spending much money. Now it's completely different. I
Mm.
completely changed that mindset. Now I just go and buy whatever my body needs, and it has, and then all that money somehow. And to add what you're saying, because it's so important, being open means not control the way that wealth or that abundance arrive to you,
Mm-hmm.
because you may think, oh, it will come back because of my paycheck or a lottery or whatever. No, it could come back to many other ways. And my own example is like, has, like, I don't know, somehow came back to, I don't know, Airbnb, someone rented my room, I don't know.
Mm.
And it's like, wow, you see some little examples of life that it's so valid. You need to just be open and trust as well. That's
Yes.
going to happen. So
Yes.
I
Trust.
love it.
And I think the example you used earlier, so much in the mind. But essentially, you know the feeling of experience.
Mm.
If you um, feel the experience before it's happened,
Yeah. Yes.
then it manifests, and it's just a matter of time. But you don't worry about the time. You
Mm.
just your concern is living the life of abundance, and it is hard. It's very very hard, and I'm talking from, and this is going to be very interesting, in terms of like if we were to do one in the future, and you say, okay, where you at now? Because I'm at the stage right now where I'm at the beginning of this conversation. I'm beginning of this living experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even honestly say I'm actually there in terms of the financial wealth that I'm manifesting. It's not manifested yet, but I am convinced that with this mindset and sticking to it, that it will happen, and I will be looking forward to be a testament of that in the not too distant future. It might just happen. Like if it happens tomorrow, Camilo, can we do it on podcast today?
Yeah, wow, this is really good because before we came here to record this, we were talking about the book that I'm listening of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks about it. He talks about that exercise that I personally was unconsciously doing it. Now I'm very conscious doing it, which is even more powerful. And when you do that, then it's so nice. And I'm sure, like, also something that well, I don't know. It's because sometimes we are very attached of the wealth of well, money
Yes.
wealth.
Yes.
Maybe we'll come out to something different. You know, like because life is so abundant that I don't know because your identity changed so much. Like I was talking about that as well about identity, and maybe today you feel like you need that way like money, but then tomorrow it's like no, I just need to be nature and the little possible. I don't know. See how
it flows, right?
it flows. Yeah. But yeah, very interesting. I love that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to because a lot of good things are happening, and um, and they always do. Like they always do for me. I'm very much an archetypal artist, but I don't like at this age. I don't like and my level of experience. I don't like the what comes with the archetypal artist as well. Like the adage that to be an authentic artist, you must be without, you must be poor, basically. And
No.
that bit,
Yeah. No.
and the idea of selling out as well, um, which means you have to give up authenticity for wealth.
No.
And I believe that you can have be authentic and abundant at the same time.
100%. And keep please doing that. Authenticity is the magic of life.
Yes.
And that's why I have discovered in this journey. And I think being authentic is a continuous journey and work. And as much as you're authentic, you attract so much. I believe it. I can say that, and it's so special. And then when you're authentic, then you flow in life.
Yes.
And things just come when in the right time, in the right moment. Yeah.
Are you a fan of Bruce Lee?
No, I don't know.
Bruce Lee, the martial artist.
Oh, okay. Yes. I knew about him in the Spanish and yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
My dad used to love it.
Yeah, my dad too. I grew up watching his films. He's got profound quotes. Profound. You like him. You really, if you look into him and his philosophies, very, yeah, you would appreciate it. And I'm going to paraphrase wildly, so it's not what he said, but similar. And he was referring to um, martial arts about reaching what he says emotional content, and essentially what he meant was being authentically yourself, even in the martial arts. So when you are being you, who you are, and you're expressing who you are, then you can be more powerful that way. It's just, if you're trying to mimic somebody else or copy and paste, you're not going to be. There's only one them, and it's what I like to think of in terms of the fingerprint. Our fingerprint, it marks us. There's only ever one, and only ever gonna be one Camilo in this entire universe. There's only been one in the millions and billions of human beings that ever existed, and to come, there will only be one you, and that goes for every one of us. And there's a magic to that, and it's what you're saying in terms of being authentic. There is a magic to that, and that's how we can all learn from each other. So even though there's an interconnected, invisible and very visible thread that makes us all one, the individuality within us is the magic when we are free within ourselves just to be, like, literally just to be. when you are authentically being yourself, that comes along with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And with that confidence, so there's so much challenges in this world, and I do believe it a lot comes down to willpower and mental strength, because not everything is just seamless. But so when you are confident, when you are, because we are all stars, so as stars, when we are shining, we attract positivity,
Mm.
but we also attract challenges.
Mm.
And those challenges, um, in the way I'll frame it that is relevant for this conversation, those challenges are there to test your willpower. How much do you believe in what you are shining? How much do you believe in your light? How much do
Mm.
you believe in yourself? And if you're knocked off path, or if you're knocked off, then you didn't really believe enough. You didn't have that fortitude, that mental strength. And essentially being authentic to who you are and being confident with that around any and anybody in any environment, any situation, um, is where we all really want to be. Of
Yeah.
course, with that, I'm talking about healthy confidence. I'm not talking about one that makes. In fact, I don't know why I have the need to say it, but just in case, for clarification, it's not something that makes anybody else feel smaller or anybody else
Uh-huh.
feel in a certain kind of way. In fact, your confidence should be make them feel better about themselves. It's that kind of confidence I'm talking about.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. And just to add that, and anyway, I feel like we need to do another flowcast. But to add a little bit of that, I feel like behind all the confidence and yeah, and what you just said is about self-love. And from self-love comes so much the rest.
Yes.
The authentic from self-love comes authenticity, and then
Yes.
from authenticity comes self-esteem, confidence, respecting the others. Anyway,
Yes.
well, we can do another podcast about this.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. I love it. I have okay, to end your
Yes.
first flowcast. I have three quick questions for you.
Okay.
You can answer with one word or one sentence.
Yes.
And the first one is, what is creativity for you?
Life.
Mm,
Life is creativity.
special. Yeah.
Life is creativity. I'd say even the things that we may deem as mundane
Mm,
is creativity.
nice.
But in essence, as an artist, I create. I create poetry and such and such. I tap into the. I've got a line where I say I'm an avatar of the creator, and that's what I do. Is I take something, create what I
Nice.
see. This conversation might here might turn out to be a couple of lines in a poem, for example. And how we got here, sex. Sex is creativity. So
Nice.
life,
Oh wow, interesting. Okay,
the
cool.
ultimate force,
Nice. Right, thank you. I love that concept. Second one, what is your current creative expression?
poetry,
And I would love to know
spoken word poetry.
where can people find your work?
On Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That you can find some YouTube. I've got. I need to. I've got. So this is my. And okay, I know it's supposed to be one line, but I do think it's important to say we we are given gifts. We're all blessed with gifts, and I feel like a part of being authentic and being ourselves is to tap into the gifts that we have.
Mm.
Again, the challenges that we're given is to overcome the doubt, overcome what is possible with those gifts. But some of us are, in sport, for example, a really easy example. Like in sport, some people can just run fast.
Mm.
I will not be able to run as fast as Usain Bolt, no matter how I tried. That is his gift. My gift is poetry. I've got other gifts as well because we're not all limited to one thing. We've all got various different gifts. But if you tap into that gift, then I do feel abundance is much easier as well. So when you're saying about people doing a lottery and doing these different
Mm-hmm.
things, that for me when you're doing a lottery or whatnot, that's gambling.
Mm.
There's a lack of
Yeah,
confidence
I
there.
believe
There's a
that.
lack of authenticity
Yes.
there. But if you focus and harness and work on your craft, which is your natural gift, whatever that might be, and you put your energy towards that, then financial wealth in general will come to you. The love, it doesn't feel like it's hard work. It can be very hard work, but it's the work that you love to do.
Mm,
Yeah, I
love
broke
it.
the rule there, but I
Thank
just
you.
felt I
Love
needed
it.
to.
No, I love it. And the last one, what the word flow means for you?
So I gave creativity life. Okay, flow is um okay. So if we do a little triangle and we say that life, what makes life? We say creativity is what makes life, and flow is what makes you alive.
Mm,
You have to move. We are moving. We are literally moving. That um, even when we're sleeping, we're moving. Our organs are moving. Subconsciously, our body is doing a lot without us even consciously thinking about it. It's moving, and flow is some is what makes us alive. It's
yeah.
living. The waves. You want to have the best form of water that you can possibly have is water from the stream.
Wow.
It can really it hydrates you on a different level to water that is still. Still water is not alive,
Mm.
and yeah, I can keep going on, but
Love it. Wow. Thank you so much, Nat, for sharing. This is amazing.
thank you for having me on
Wow. Thank you so
Flowcast.
much. Thank you so much, everyone, to listening. Bye.